Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, I am Asya Mushtaq and I am going to teach you the subject of general methods of teaching. The course code of this subject is EDUC 1112. Today's our topic of discussion is illustration methods of teaching. First of all, I would like to explain you what is illustration. An illustration is a decoration, interpretation or visual explanation of a text, concepts or process designed for integration in published media such as posters, flyers, magazines, books, teaching materials, animations, video games and films. Actually, an illustration is typically created by an illustrator. Illustration also means providing an example either in writing or in a picture form. Modern illustration uses a wide range of styles and techniques, including drawing, painting, printmaking, digital design, multimedia, 3D modeling. Depending on the purpose, illustration may be expressive, artificial, or highly technical as well. For example, showing a photo of a dramatically beautiful cloud image at the opening of a presentation on climatology does more to attract attention than explain the content. Providing a table of cloud type images organized according to the cloud classification scheme might be seen as primarily aiding retention. Drawing a diagram illustrating the process in the formation of a particular cloud type will help explain these processes for increased understanding. So if we want to place weather forecasters in an instructional scenario where they are asked to practice making forecast decisions, we might create context by providing a user interface that resembles a forecast office with a window revealing storm clouds growing outside. So visuals create a deep long-term impact on human minds. No wonder why visual communication, if used in an appropriate manner, may turn out to be a powerful mechanism for rich storytelling and marketing. Illustration, as one of the most widely used means of visual communication, has evolved over the years to assume a powerful identity in publishing, healthcare, education and manufacturing industries. Actually, illustration is usually a form of graphics that are used for visually explaining a concept or process to the target audience. We can integrate illustration in books, learning materials, animations, posters, flyers, magazines, movies, video games and in fact in all type of print and digital material. Using illustration, we can present any idea or concept in a more interesting manner. So now I will discuss with you different definitions of illustration. The word illustration refers to an example or story that's used to explain, clarify or justify a point. And the word illustration is the Latin word which means wide representation. Illustration is the use of examples to make ideas more concrete and to make generalizations more specific and detailed. Examples enable writers not just to tell but to show what they mean. For example, an essay about recently developed alternative sources of energy becomes clear and interesting with the use of some examples, say solar energy or the heat from the Earth's core, the more specific the example, the more effective it is. Along with general statements about solar energy, the writer might offer several examples of how the home building industry is installing solar collectors instead of conventional hot water system, or building solar greenhouses to replace conventional central heating. So the definition of an illustration is a picture or a drawing, or the act of creating the drawing, or is an example used to explain or prove something. An example of an illustration is a picture associated a magazine article. So an example of an illustration is the description of deforestation used to show the harm that humans are having on the environment. So an illustration is a drawing, painting, or printed work of art which explains, clarifies, illuminates, visually represents, or merely decorates a written text which may be of a literary or commercial nature. So now I will discuss with you illustration method of teaching and learning. When we are considering illustration as aids to retention and understanding, we also need to look at how illustrations can provide performance support. And if we blur the definition of instruction a bit to include the long part toward gaining expertise that follows formal instruction, then performance aids can also be seen as instructional. So attaining the attention of student is precondition to any kind of learning. It appears first in most list of events in the instructional process. In the term of cognitive psychology, gaining attention is critical because of the limited capacity and duration of the short term or working memory. Working memory is the place where conscious mental work is performed. If new items need to be brought into working memory, others must be dropped. If items are not used or rehearsed, they tend to be forgotten. If they have been used sufficiently, then they will be stored in long-term memory for later recall. According to cognitive theory, only a small fraction of all sensory stimuli that reach the brain actually make it to the working memory, a process known as selective perception. So considering the limitation of working memory, it is easy to understand why such a process is necessary. Without it, we would be overcome with stimuli in an instant. With all the stimuli that are competing for attention, it is a challenge to keep learners focused on the intended message or task. Usually, illustrations can help because they can be complex to the sense, and because they can provide novelty in the probably more plentiful stream of spoken words or written text. Complexity draws and holds attention. Illustration, because they can display varieties and interrelationships of lines, shapes, colors, spaces, and text, tend to be more complex to the sense than lectures or text alone, and so they will stand out to the learner. It should be added, however, that there are limits to the benefits of complexity. If complexity exceeds the processing capabilities of learner, they may withdraw attention in self-defense. There is an optimal level of complexity that varies with the age and ability of learners that must be taken into consideration. For example, our attention is drawn to the circle on the right because of the higher complexity introduced by the multiple colors. Next point is novelty. Novelty is also one of the key to gaining attention. Our attention is drawn to what is new or unexpected in our sensory field. This is the reason police and other emergency alerts use rapidly changing fields rather than sheer volume to announce the need for caution. Even though the ideas you present may be quite interesting or complex, a long, uninterrupted lecture or pages of text may introduce sensory dullness. Thoughtful use of illustration within such presentation will introduce novelty and help hold the attention of learners. As with the complexity, however, instructors should not overemphasize novelty as a strategy. Anything that is originally novel and attention-getting can become uninteresting with abuse. Next one is retention. Retention usually refers to keeping information available in the long-term memory. But the ability to retain needed information in working memory is equally important to a learning and performance. Problem solving, for instance, requires keeping many factors for a situation in mind while analyzing them for a solution. Illustration provide assistance for both kinds of retention. Long-term retention. One of the basic ways that illustrations aid retention relates to the well-researched dual coding theory of memory. This theory proposed that information is stored in long-term memory both as verbal plans and as mental images. So when information is presented verbally and visually, it has a better chance of being remembered. Different research shows that concrete words are remembered better than abstract words, and that pictures alone are remembered better than words alone. From the dual coding perspective, an explanation is that concrete words help us generate associated mental images, and that pictures alone help us to generate associated words in addition to detailed mental images. The combination of verbal proposition and mental image establish multiple pathways by which the information can be retrieved from memory. So verbal and visual representation maybe does not completely account for the memorable nature of images. It may be that because they are concrete, images are intrinsically more durable in memory than verbal propositions. So obviously illustration can help learners retain information by stimulating the mental images to facilitate dual coding. They can be of special value when teaching abstract information by providing images that learners might not generate on their own. Charts showing trends, diagram of processes, and visual metaphors of abstract ideas are all ways of providing images for abstract ideas. Another way of looking at how illustrations help students retain abstract information is their ability to assist in building well-structured schemas. Cognitive theory proposes that we store knowledge in network of interrelated intentions called schemas. Recall is achieved by following a path of related plans until the desired information is encountered. Complex and accurately structured schemas facilitates recall by providing many alternate and efficient paths to reach information. Retention in working memory. Illustration can also be seen as assisting the short-term or working memory by making more information readily available. Illustration can present simultaneously all the information needed to explain a topic or perform a task. Because the reader can see this information at a glance or with minimal study, graphical presentation can be more efficient than words alone. For example, charts with multiple columns and rows can reveal the complex relationships between large amounts of information. Such information would be difficult to present and even more difficult to comprehend in words alone. When students read prose or hear exposition, they have to hold information in working memory long enough to relate it to the information presented later. A difficult task in a long passage. Concurrent presentation can reduce the processing load on the working memory and thus help students better see relationship within the information. Illustrations for concrete information. Illustrations are obviously valuable in teaching concrete concepts and how to work with concrete objects. It would be nearly impossible to teach students how to classify cloud types without showing illustration of each type and pointing out their differences. So it would be equally difficult to teach medical student human anatomy without illustration. It may be stating the obvious, but illustrations are also very critical for showing those things that cannot normally be seen, such as the interiors of things and the microscopic. Illustrations are important for teaching principles that have three-dimensional determinants. An illustration would be specially appropriate for showing that different classes of trees dominate the ecosystem of different altitudes. Illustrations for teaching concrete information are in most cases more effective if they are somewhat abstracted. Line drawing or other simplification which suggest the real object but highlight the critical elements is an unrealistic way are usually more effective than realistic illustration. Of course, realism may be necessary for the later stages of developing expertise where objectives require students to identify a manipulate object in the real world. Illustrations for abstract information. Illustration prove valuable in teaching abstract information by providing three-dimensional images for logical structure using space, lines, boxes, arrows, colors, and the relative distance between elements. Many writers have outlined methods of making graphic representations of the common structures of information, such as comparison and contrast, procedural steps, descriptions. For example, column charts are efficient for comparing or contrasting the characteristics of items. Timelines are good at showing chronological relationship. Flow charts can show cautions clearly. Student must first learn the steps of complex procedures as verbal knowledge before they become capable of performing it automatically. Referring a job aids can help students through the initial stage by letting them practice complex procedures without committing large amounts of data to memory. When they have performed the procedure many times, the data begins to acquire meaning, making it more easy to remember. In other words, the memorizations can take place when it is most effective. Distributed cognition. Illustrations sometimes aid retention or even avoid the need for retention by substituting for it. Knowledge in the world is information that we can refer to in the outside source. Rather than commit to knowledge, when practical, it is more efficient to leave knowledge in the world temporarily or permanently rather than to exert effort to memorize it. So the concept of distributed cognition suggests that we not think of ourselves as isolated minds. Rather, we should consider how teams of people function together to perform a task and how our tools and work environment act as extensions of our cognition and contribute to our ability to perform. So in other words, we should consider how knowledge in the world and in the head work together and work to improve the relationship. Illustration play a key role in our distributed cognition. For example, job aids are sometimes illustrations of procedural steps or physical layouts that are designed to be read while performing a procedure. Common examples are the step-by-step assembly. Instructions include with product sold, unassembled. In this case, the procedure is intended to be performed only once and never memorized, but job aids are also useful for learning procedure that eventually must be performed automatically. Next one is alternative mental skills. In our culture, we tend to stress verbal over visual learning because the written text and the lecture are the primary modes of instructions. Students have fewer chances to use and develop visual learning abilities. Tapping these abilities with illustrations may reinforce learning in ways that verbal learning alone would not. This idea recalls whole brain learning, which some researchers have advocated. Left brain and right brain theory proposes that the left divisions of the brain is best at verbal and other symbolic processes, and that the right division is better at visual and creative processes. By tapping both divisions in whole brain learning, each division can contribute its own strength and more thorough learning may take place. So the idea that is beneficial to address multiple learning styles is based on a similar concept, although here it is proposed that each learner has a predisposition to a particular style. If we use only one teaching mode, such as lecture, we may be leaving behind those students with ability, but an alternate preferred and apparently optimal learning style. Instructional metaphors. Useful instructional context can be symbolic or analogical as well as realistic. These types of contexts may also help make information better understood by linking new information, new knowledge to existing knowledge that has a similar relationship, or simply by providing as prompt device. So illustration can make effective memory aid devices. Technical and scientific illustration. Technical and scientific illustration communicates information of a technical or scientific nature. This may include exploded views, cutaways, fly-throughs, reconstructions, instructional images, component design, diagrams. The aim is to generate expressive images that effectively convey certain information via the visual channel to the human observer. So technical and scientific illustration is generally designed to describe or explain subjects to a non-technical audience. So must provide an overall impression of what an object is or does to enhance the viewer's interest and understanding. In contemporary illustration practice, 2D and 3D softwares is often used to create accurate representations that can be updated easily and reused in a variety of contexts. Illustration as fine art. In the art world, illustration has at times been considered of less importance than graphic design and fine arts. Today, however, due in part to the growth of graphic novel and video games industries, as well as increased use of illustration in magazine and other publications, illustration is now becoming a valued art form capable of engaging a global market. Original illustration art has been known to attract high prices at mart. So there are two types of illustration. First one is traditional illustration and second one is modern illustration. Traditional illustration mostly refers to hand drawn artwork, whereas modern illustration is the outcome of the use of software such as Photoshop and Illustrator. Importance of illustration method of teaching. Discussions about illustration can include all children and help to make a written text more accessible. Time spent focusing on illustration can contribute to children's ability to read for meaning, express their ideas, and respond to the text they encounter. Children's interest in images and their ability to read them can be developed through carefully planned interventions with an emphasis on talk. First one is gallery walk. A gallery walk allows children to walk the story of a picture book The illustration spreads without text are displayed in sequence around the classroom or larger hall space, and the children walk individually or in groups around the room, building their own pictures of the narrative through the illustration. Children can discuss their different interpretations of the story by discussing the images, working out what is happening and possible motivation of the characters. They can also focuses with different characters and situations by drawing on personal experiences. Illustrating characters. Illustrating characters alongside an illustrator or enabling adult gives children a starting point into the process of how to bring characters to life through illustration. Children who are less confident to begin this process can see where starting points are, the shapes that are used to build up characters, and how details such as proportion, clothing and props can add layers of understanding about character and emotion. Drawing characters focuses attention on them, how they look, what they say, how they behave. To build their ideas of what a character is like, children have to refer to the text. They can also be encouraged to draw on the language of the text in making comments around the drawings. Next one is illustrating on characters and settings. Given children the time to illustrate their own characters as part of their idea development focuses attention on them, how they look, what they say, how they behave. When first creating a character, children will need lots of time to explore and experiment, trying out different ideas in a range of media. They can then talk about which ideas work best for them and which characters they feel speak their story. To build their ideas of what a character is like, children may have to create and recreate them in different ways. It is important to give children time to experiment with proportion, facial expression, clothing and props to give their intended reader further clues about the character they create. Throughout these processes, children's thoughts will be focused intently on the character, enabling descriptive language and narrative ideas to develop, reading them for the writing process. Last one is visualization. Asking children to picture or visualize their ideas is a powerful way of encouraging them to move into a fictional world. Children can be asked to picture the scene in their mind's eye or walk around in their imagination. Finally, they can bring it to life, recreating it in drawing, painting or other media. Illustrating story setting or key events prompt children to imagine what a scene looks like or visualize it from a particular viewpoint, like drama. It enables children to enter the world of the story and provide support for writing. Some suggested links.